Continue learning Hachzek, Pirkei Avos Yomi, picking up from the 7th Mishnah in the 5th parak. After all the tens, continues the Mishnah, Shiva Devarim Ba'Goylam. 7 items characterize a Goylam, literally a unpersoned person, an unrefined person. Says Rabbeinu Yoina, called davar shein surasai nigmeres nikra goylam. What's a goylam? A goylam is when we have an entity that the tzura, that its fashion, that its figure, that its form is not nigmar, is not complete. K'moshe Nemar, as the pasuk says, Golmai ra'u einecha, your eyes saw my unshaped form. Kodim shnigmra tzuras eivarim, before the eivarim, before all the limbs are complete, the body, it's referred to as a goylam. So too, one who knows what he is taught, he could spit back knowledge, but he doesn't know svara, he doesn't have logic, he doesn't have a das on his own. Nikra goylam, she'in chachmasin ikeres, his wisdom is not recognizable. And his das does not reach to protect himself. The Shiva Dvarim Halalu, with these 7 entities. These are the 7 entities of Chachma, and some of them are Midas Taivais, V'chein Pirish, Rambam. So explains the Rambam. V'shiva B'chachma. So we have 7 entities about a Goylam, V'shiva B'chachma. And 7 entities characterize a wise, a Chacham. So we have a counterbalance over here. We have the Chachma versus the Goylam, he with Das versus he without Das. So explains the Mishnah. And of course, in each one of these entities, we can take the lesson of making sure which side we're on each one of these items. Chacham inay medaber lefnisha gadol mena b'chachma. Someone who is a Chacham, someone who is wise, will not talk before one that is greater than him in Chachma. He hears, he's quiet, and he learns. And he's acting wisely. What does the Goylam do? He doesn't desire wisdom, rather he always just wants to talk, he wants to say what's on his mind. That's number 1. So number 1 is, we hear, we don't just respond, we don't just have to jump into every conversation. No, we listen, we're quiet, and we learn. Number 2, you don't interrupt your friend's words. You let your friend talk till he finishes all his words. And afterwards, and afterwards he responds. He midah taiva, and it's an incredible midah. The goylam, he without this das and svar does not do such. He responds even before he hears. And number 3 is that he's not quick to answer. He doesn't rush to give an answer when he's asked until till he hears all the different parts of the question, and everything that the shayel, everything that he that's asking the question is asking, ledaber, to talk, and to expound upon the question. And he looks into the entities, he looks into the words well. And he doesn't just quickly rush his mouth. He doesn't rush his heart to sing something out of his mouth till it's perfectly clear. That's the way of wisdom. Because then your response, then your tshuva will be nechaina, will be appropriate. Number 5, it doesn't mean that he answers the question 1 first and the last question last. What it means is, the first question can be answered by the last question. He clarifies that first. Meaning, if there's some knowledge in a later question, a later detail, and that knowledge is going to allow to shed some light on an earlier question. So the opposite, he doesn't respond to the first, he responds to the latter one, and then goes full circle and responds to the first. Again, for the purpose like we keep on seeing, to ensure that the response is with utmost clarity. And that's called first and last. And then the earlier thing gets clarified through it. But if it's opposite, that's an incredible wisdom. And of course the Gailam, he without Das, he without Svar does not know how to answer in such a manner. And number 6, something that he has not heard. He says, I didn't hear. If you didn't hear anything from your Rebbe, there's no crime without knowing. But let's say he has his own idea, but he didn't hear from the Rebbe. So he says, I didn't hear anything from my Rebbe. And then he'll continue and he'll say, it appears this way. Something incredible. Never reaches. And the 7th and the final differentiation between the Chacham and the Gailam, that he admits to the truth. Even if he is wise, he didn't know how to answer appropriately. And in all the entities, and he could contradict, and he could hide, and he could win over the claim of his friend, who is not as wise as he. But it's not about winning. It's about saying the emes. So even if he has a way to circumvent, he has a way to supersede, but he knows that's not the truth, he will not do that. He will not be worried about winning. That's an incredible honor. That's a refined and beautiful midah. But the Gailam doesn't think this. The Gailam just says, I need to win, I need to be on top. And in essence, when he wins, it's not a win, it's a bizayon. And the Gailam is the opposite. And all these entities, he stumbles. Binas Chacham likes, he lacks the intelligence. And in each of these entities, some of these entities are not easy. Certainly, certain times we feel the need to jump. Certain times we have a difficult time responding and waiting. Certain times to admit to the truth is just so difficult. We want to be right. But realize how the Mishnah teaches us the 7 ways, the 7 differences between the Chacham and the Gailam.